Imagine waking up one morning in 2026 and realizing that a decision made quietly in Washington just changed the future of your retirement. Not next year, not someday far away, but right now. Your savings, your pension, your bond income, even how long your money lasts, all could be shaped by what the Federal Reserve decides to do next. Most people won't see it coming. They'll feel it later, when it's already too late to adjust. And that's why this conversation matters today, because the Fed's 2026 decisions could either protect your retirement or slowly break it without you even realizing what went wrong. Before we go any further, if you care about protecting your future income, keeping your savings strong, and understanding the global forces shaping your money, make sure you like this video and subscribe to Finance and Global Economy. This channel exists to help you see the big picture before it hits your wallet, and staying connected here could genuinely change how prepared you feel about retirement. Now let's get into what's really coming. 2. The Federal Reserve doesn't manage retirement accounts directly, but its decisions ripple through every part of the system. Retirees depend on interest rates decide how much your bonds pay, how stable pension funds remain, and whether inflation quietly eats away at your buying power. In 2026, the Fed will be walking a very thin line, balancing inflation control, economic growth, government debt, and global pressure. And that balance will determine whether retirees experience stability or stress. For years, retirees lived in a world where interest rates were near zero. That era trained people to chase yield, take more risk, and rely heavily on stocks to grow retirement savings. Then, inflation surged, rates jumped, and suddenly bonds became attractive again. But 2026 may not look like either of those worlds. The Fed could choose to keep rates higher for longer, slowly reduce them, or react suddenly to an economic shock. Each path creates very different outcomes for retirement income. If rates stay higher, retirees with bonds and fixed income could benefit from stronger yields. New bonds would pay more, and savings accounts would finally feel rewarding again. But there's a hidden cost. Higher rates put pressure on pension funds, housing markets, and government budgets. Pension systems rely on stable asset values and predictable returns. When rates stay elevated, the value of existing bonds drops, and funding gaps can widen. That can quietly threaten pension promises, especially at the state and local level. On the other hand, if the Fed cuts rates too quickly in 2026, inflation could return in a way that feels slow at first but devastating over time. Inflation doesn't need to spike to cause damage. Even steady inflation at 4% quietly erodes purchasing power year after year. Groceries cost more. Healthcare costs rise faster than expected. Fixed pensions don't stretch as far. And retirees living on predictable income feel squeezed without knowing exactly why. This is where many people misunderstand inflation risk. They think it's dramatic or obvious. In reality, it's subtle. It shows up as fewer choices, tighter budgets, and constant adjustments. The Fed knows this, and that's why their decisions will be cautious, data-driven, and sometimes frustratingly slow. But slow decisions can still have powerful long-term effects. Bond investors need to pay special attention here. In 2026, bond performance won't just depend on rates, but on expectations. If markets believe inflation is under control, long-term bonds could stabilize. If confidence cracks, bond prices can swing sharply. Retirees who rely on bond funds for income could see unexpected volatility, even though bonds are often labeled as safe. Safety in retirement is not about labels, it's about timing and structure. Pensions are another silent pressure point. Many pension systems assume long-term returns that may not be realistic in a lower-growth world. Fed keeps rates high to control inflation. Pension funds may struggle to hit those targets. If rates fall and inflation rises, the real value of pension payments declines. Either way, the margin for error is shrinking, and retirees may feel that pressure through cost-of-living adjustments that don't keep up with reality. There's also a global layer to this story that most retirement discussions ignore. The US dollar, global debt levels, and foreign demand for US bonds all influence how much flexibility the Fed really has. If global investors demand higher yields to hold US debt, the Fed's choices become more constrained. That matters because constrained decisions often lead to trade-offs, and retirees are often caught in the middle of those trade-offs. This is why 2026 won't be about dramatic announcements or sudden crashes. It will be about slow shifts that compound over time. A quarter-point decision here, a cautious statement there. Each move shaping expectations, markets, and ultimately your retirement lifestyle. The people who stay informed will feel calmer, the people who ignore it will feel confused later. At Finance and Global Economy, we focus on helping you connect these dots. Not to create fear, but to build awareness. Retirement security today isn't just about saving enough, it's about understanding the environment your money lives in. And that environment is being reshaped right now. As we move closer to 2026, the smartest retirees won't be asking, "What did the Fed do?" They'll be asking, "How do I adapt?" They'll think about diversifying income streams, managing inflation exposure, and staying flexible instead of locking into assumptions that no longer hold. Because the Fed can't protect every retirement plan, but informed individuals can protect themselves. If this video helped you see the bigger picture, let me know in the comments how you feel about the Fed's role in retirement. Do you think inflation is the bigger threat or unstable markets? Share this video with someone who's planning for retirement or already living it, because these decisions affect all of us more than we realize. And stay connected with Finance and Global Economy, because understanding the system is the first step toward staying ahead of it.